Hey everybody, my name is Chad. Welcome to my channel. What I'm going to do today is I am going to be taking apart my Crosman 2240. I'm going to change the barrel, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to be showing you guys some other components inside it, like the hammer spring and so on and so forth. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I've seen people post on Facebook asking, how it's done, and I don't think people realize how simple it really is to do. And hopefully this will help a little bit. It's pretty much a stock Crosman, except I got the steel breech on it. But taking off the breech is the same idea, whether you have the original plasticky kind of breech or the improved steel breech or so on. I have the red dot on here. Obviously I'm going to take off and so on. So I'm not going to be super detailed. I'm just going to do it in front of the camera and you guys can see, and I'll talk through it. First thing with this is obviously take off the red dot. Very simple. Probably could just use my fingers, but what the heck, I'm in my basement with the tools, so may as well do it. Oh, there it goes. And this is a little Tasco PowerPoint. It's a nice little PowerPoint. It works. The red dot works really good for what I use it for. First thing, always make sure that this thing isn't charged with CO2. Obviously it isn't. I'm just gonna unscrew it. You can see there's nothing in it. Put this off to the side here. Right here, okay, you have a screw for the breech. So take it out, just unscrew it. I like to put my finger over the rear because this is what holds the hammer and hammer spring in there, and it can go flying out on you if you're not careful. Just keep your finger over it. And the other part is right there. This one's a little harder to get to, only because of the angle it's at, with that handle in the way. There we go. You got the screw on top and the Allen part right here and here. Okay, there we go. This is the hammer spring. Now I can never remember whether it's the metric size or the US standard size for these. So let's see here, and I'll let you know which one it was. Aha, okay. It was the metric number 2. That was the size of the hex you need for this. Loosen it up a little bit. Got another one underneath here. Loosen it up, there we go. It just slides right off, nice and easy. Has another screw here. I don't know if this is the same or not. I can't remember. Oh, it is good. Life is good. Number 2. Just loosen it up. You can't pull it out yet because the barrel is still attached in here. I gotta take this whole thing off here. In order to do that, I'm gonna pull back on the bolt. Okay. I'll pull back on the bolt. Oh. This was the cap for the bolt right here. Forgot to pull that off. Alright, and you see that little screw right in there. Okay. There we go. Okay, this takes a really small Allen, and I want to say this one is the US standard. It might be the smallest one I got here. Yep, and so it was this last one here, 0.05 of an inch, so 5/100ths of an inch. And this is going to be the only thing that's holding together the steel breech onto the main tube. Gotta be very careful when you take this out. So let me get my thumb on it now. It's going to be wobbling around. And pull it out. And make sure you don't lose it. That's why I do all this on a towel. Keeps things from rolling around. And this should, voila, pulled right off. This is the transfer port right here. I'm going to take that out. It's got a washer in there right now. That washer looks like it's kind of, yeah, it's okay. And now the old barrel slides right out. This is, you know, it comes out black. The barrel's originally black. I put it on a drill press and spun it and put sandpaper on it to strip off the black to make it a silvery metallic look color. Alright, and this is the shorter barrel I'm going to put on it. Just going to see how it does on a shorter barrel. The differences in the barrel lengths, I'll put them up side by side so you can see them. There's a transfer port hole on this one versus the other one. So we're looking at I don't know, what, 2.5 inches more longer, maybe. This came off of a 1322. This is the one that came with the original gun. Alright. Here, I'll take this out just to show you. Okay, if you take this pin, there's the hammer in there. If I pull the trigger, it'll go forward. Okay. If I pull the pin out, okay, I can just slide the hammer out. There's the hammer. Okay. Kind of polish it up a little bit, but no big deal. Slide it back in. Put that pin back on it. Come on. And slide it forward and pull the trigger. That gets it in there. Okay. You hear about lightening the hammer spring. This is the hammer spring that you can lighten if you want to. Fits right in there. Okay. Put the plug right back on. If you're going to change and getting a power adapter, you see those also. That's you just change this out. It's super easy. Okay, I'm going to put this back in. Screw it in. And this screw will keep that in there while you do all the rest of this stuff. As you can see, this screw is pretty well stripped out. What you can use is, and do I have it over here? I do. You can get one of these square kind of tip looking bits. It actually fits in there really good to tighten it down. I obviously don't want to over tighten it, just want to get it in there. Okay, so now we're getting to the meat and potatoes, if you will, of this thing right here. And when you can kind of see the valve port in there right now. If you look in there right now, there's the valve port in there. There's an O-ring around the outside. And the transfer port, which is right here, okay, right here, you want to seed in there. You want to put short side So I'm going to put this. It has a short and a long side. Where is it? There we go. It has a short and a long side. You want to put the short side down, so it's sitting on the O-ring. Okay, put that off to the side for a second. Now in your steel breech, okay, in your steel breech, you have the screw in the back, you have the screw in the front, that's a real small pin, then you have the transfer port hole, and you want your transfer port hole on your barrel to line up with the transfer port hole in the breech. So when you slide it in, you want that to line up, because this transfer port, where is it? There it is, right there. Right here is going to lock in to that hole. So you want to keep this so it's not going to move around. You want to try and get it to seat right on there. And then you also have to worry about this damn bolt on there. So you gotta get everything. Well, I didn't do it on the camera. You got this slot. It's got to be in front of this tab. There we go. And you want everything to line up. Oh, so if you play around with it, there it goes. It just kind of did that off camera, didn't I? Let's try this one more time here on camera. You want this tab to be behind the end of the bolt. This tab to be behind the end of the bolt. And so you slide it in, and you want the transfer port to line up with that hole with the barrel. So there, if you do it right, it all sets in nicely. Beauteous. Okay. Put this end cap on. I'm probably way out of the picture. I'm trying to get on the picture, but we'll see. And if I can get that end screw, end cap, to be centered, put the screw in, screw it down. I got to push that in a little bit to get the screw to seat. There we go. Now it's going in. Okay, now I've got the end of the breech kind of stuck in there. Everything's tight. Check in there with pulling on the barrel a little bit. It's all good. Okay, I'm going to lock down this grub screw right here to get the barrel nice and tight onto the breech. And the reason why I'm taking off the longer barrel is because I kind of want to retain the pistol look of the 2240. When I had the longer barrel, it was kind of had a carbine look to it. Okay, now I got to pull back the bolt in order to get that small screw in there, and this is kind of a trickier part, because the screw is so small. Got to get it in there, get it started, and be very careful that you don't strip it. Okay, so I got it in there, I got it started. Get that screw in. Okay, it's going in now. Sorry about the dogs. They're upstairs and they hear people outside and they're being dogs. Okay, so it's in there pretty good. Just give it a little tighten. Oops. And if you look at this screw, you're going to see that the head goes in a little deeper. There's a kind of a hole now, and sometimes that's going to catch on a pellet. I've had some people say that they put wax in there or something, and that's, it's a good idea, but I don't know if it's really necessary. Okay, so the barrel is in there nice and tight now. Everything's on it tight. Everything works. Alright, so we got to put the barrel band back on. And it kind of has a dimple on there where it went originally. Again, that's the number 2. There. Okay, now it's in that dimple. So I'm just going to tighten it on there, kind of. Okay. And tighten the back side. You can see I kind of missed spots on where it was before, but it's not a big deal. Whatever. Some of you guys are probably saying, oh, he's not very good with that Allen wrench. Well, you can't all be masters at everything. There. Okay, that's in there pretty good. Okay, so that's a barrel change. Put the CO2 cap back in there, CO2 well cap, and the last thing to do is put the red dot on. And I had it so that it was at the very end of the steel breech. That's where I set it up at, very end of the steel breech. So I know I'm going to be somewhat close to where it was before. So we'll take a minimal readjusting. Should be close to on 0. Maybe not perfect, but it should be close if I get it where it was before. But I'm saying all those comments, and I realize that the shorter barrel is going to change things around rather significantly. So I probably will have to re-zero it somewhat substantially. Here's me looking down the barrel of a gun. How's that for very intelligent? Let's try to lock this in here. Come on, get in there. Okay. And I might, after shooting a little bit, might say, oh, the accuracy isn't what I wanted, and so on and so forth. So I may change it again, and take the barrel out, put the old barrel back in, But as you can see, it really is not that big a deal. Okay, so really, again, all I needed was a flat tip screwdriver. I had 2 of them. I really only needed 1. I needed that square tip bit, but that's just because my screws were all stripped out. Can easily go get new ones. Just this works. And 2 hex wrenches. First one was a metric number 2. And the other one was a US standard 5/100ths of an inch. That was for that small screw in the breech. I have no doubt that there are people out there who do more than I do and will make corrections on what I've said, and I welcome that. That is perfectly fantastic. But all in all, 2240 is a fun little gun to shoot, air pistol, and I hope you have fun with it, and I hope this helped a little bit. We'll see. All right, have a good one.